What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Her Lounge podcast. This week, I'm going to stay on it. I'm going to have 2 podcasts. I was so bad last week. We were super busy.
Yeah.
So
you might be able to do 3. Because we're going to record Friday with Dawn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
And then I'm still going to be here tomorrow for Chingo, so we can do a solo one if you want.
Yeah, that's true.
She's getting them all out before
right? Exactly. Yeah. I know. That'll have to happen for sure. Yeah. They'll definitely be pre-recorded before that. But today, guys, we have Lucia and Roxy back on the podcast.
Hi.
And just reminding you guys also about their Abilities Bash that's happening May 22nd, around the corner, legit around the corner. That went by fast.
Yes, it did.
But before we get started, you guys know I like to start with the positive quote, and I wanted to keep it positive, but this is such a negative situation that's happened lately. Rob's like, why are we podcasting Monday? I was like,
dude,
just wait till Monday.
You're going to want to hear this. I was like, okay,
I said, you'll want to hear this in person. If I text it to you, it's just not going to,
It's not going to hit.
So anyway.
Your jaw will be dropped the entire time, I guarantee you.
So I thought this was kind of, I guess, so only people who are not happy with themselves are mean to others. Remember that. And I just thought this whole situation was kind of a mean situation, but I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to let the ladies take over because it gets crazy.
Yeah.
Are you going to set it up for us?
So I'll set it up for you guys. So I never knew that there was an issue in the autism world if you use the puzzle sign. It's offensive to some people. And they feel like there's nothing puzzling about autism. Based on the videos, I went down a rabbit hole after they explained the situation. You'll know why I went down an adult autism rabbit hole on YouTube. So a lot of the adult autistic children feel like parents. This is the one I wanted to tell y'all about. So before I get y'all riled up, here we go.
Let me turn my ringer off.
Yeah.
So the video that I watched, ladies, said, why do parents get to be called awesome mothers, but the autism, right? AU. Why do y'all get praised? Why do the parents get praised when it's the children that are the ones that are going through all the therapy? And parents have done nothing except put them through all these challenges, not ever asking the autistic child whether they want to continue therapy.
They consider it abusive.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you know that, Rob?
I did not know that.
I know.
But the autistic adults consider it abusive.
I'm gonna chime in here because I feel like a lot of the people that were being very mean on TikTok are like from an older type of autism crowd. And I feel like maybe their experience wasn't so good because we're just getting more resources now as parents. And I feel like autism has evolved over the years. So maybe whenever they were children and were diagnosed, they were told, their parents were told that they needed to be cured, that they needed to go and do these harsh things to them, because I know, like from the Autism Speaks side, which is what they keep saying. The puzzle piece, Autism Speaks uses it, and they were very rude. They were not good to our community. They've done a lot of harsh things. And when you do your research on Autism Speaks, back in the day, they did a lot of campaigning to make autism negative and make it like, we got to make sure we cure these kids, and we don't know what they're dealing with. In reality, back in those days, nobody really knew what autism was and what kind of struggle each kid was having. Each child is so different on the spectrum, so you can see where that confusion would be, especially in the medical field back then.
I didn't know it was just kind of figured out in 1966. That's very new.
It's very new.
1966 is not that long ago, if you think about it.
It's not. And it's always evolving. So I was telling Lucia, I'm like, the people on TikTok, and I want to call them people because some of them prefer to be his, her, them, they. So it's so broad. We can say the people on TikTok. They're from an older community between probably the age of 21 and 30, I would say.
And our age, one of them said she was our age.
Okay, our age. Imagine where autism research was then when she was diagnosed. You know what I mean? Or they were diagnosed. So I feel like they don't know what's going on nowadays. Like my daughter was diagnosed in 2017, and I was telling Lucia, I said, when she was diagnosed, nobody ever told me, we're fighting for a cure. Let's cure your child. They said, most likely she's going to have to live with you for the rest of your life. And the more she talks, the better prognosis it is for her in life. So that's why I feel like, and this is another thing to remember. These are the kids, not kids, but now adults on the spectrum. They don't know the perspective of a parent. And from what I can see, none of them have kids. Right. So like they don't know the love of a parent and how they do want to help their child, not to be somebody that they're not, but hey, if your child is lacking in speech, why wouldn't you want to teach them how to learn those communication skills? Because I know my daughter had more behavioral issues and was more frustrated when she couldn't express to me how she was feeling or what she wanted. But now that she's starting to understand how communication works, she's less stressed, she has less behavioral issues, and she's happier because she can communicate to me what her needs are. So it's like, I feel like you cannot win. Like you cannot win with the people that I've come across on TikTok, because their hearts are hurting, and for whatever reason it is in their childhood that made them hurt. But my thing is like, autism is still evolving. Like, hey, ask me and be nice about it. Be like, hey, they're trying to cure us, and I can tell you, they never told me to cure my daughter, and they never said they're working on a cure. They told me that she was probably going to live with me for the rest of her life, and that she'll need extra help intellectually with certain things and speech and so forth. So I think that they're so like against this one thing, and they're associating the puzzle piece to this one organization and their goals back then, that they hate it now. And to me, the autism piece to me doesn't mean that you're broken, that anything's missing from you.
Oh yeah, that's the one thing that I saw too, that they feel the puzzle piece makes them feel broken, and they're not broken.
So right here, because I pulled it up when they were going back and forth with her, most of their comments related to the fact using the puzzle piece insinuates there is something missing from autistic people like myself. We do not need to be put together. It's offensive. And the other one said it's harmful because the puzzle piece was obviously, started by Autism Speaks, but it says they want to cure, and they put in quotation marks, autism. We do not want to be cured.
So for the listeners and myself, where does this whole conversation stemming from? Was it the event, or was it social media?
Okay, so like Made by Creations was created to bring awareness to autism. So I literally shut my life. In 2015, I stopped everything I was doing, and I was that a proactive parent, and I was like, let me do my research. I couldn't find resources. I couldn't find a pin I can place on my daughter when we were at doctor visits and stuff like that. So I was like, Moy, let's create one. And he's the one, me and him together created the autism pin that we have. And it just says autistic, but it has the puzzle pieces on top. And that was something that I wanted for me. And I gave one to Lucia because the idea was awesome. And so whenever I have a TikTok I have a TikTok for Made by Creations. It's basically like me creating things or like shipping items out. And I had a video of me shipping some scrunchies out, and one of the scrunchies was a puzzle piece scrunchie. And there was a specific person that called the puzzle piece out. And I tried for 2 days this weekend to be very like understanding. I was like, if that's what you guys want to do, the infinity sign, because their thing is like, get away with the puzzle piece and let's stop using
the puzzle piece and
there's an infinity sign that
a rainbow infinity sign that they would rather use instead of the puzzle piece. And like, to me, I'm like, don't bully me into changing that I have a puzzle piece on products on my page, which is probably like what, 5 items total.
Her whole inventory is not that.
Yes,
it's literally,
and I'm like,
it's a pin. It's a lanyard, and it's a belly bow.
It's basically something so small. They're missing the point. I'm like, the point is that we're trying to bring awareness to autism with every order. So when I ship an order out, I have a little thing in there that tells you what autism is. Please be kind, like all these things. So my thing is, I want to spread awareness by each order. So that's our thing. And so whenever this whole conversation was going on, I was being very understanding. I was like, look, if you want the infinity sign, that's fine. If you want me to add it to my site, I'll do that. But they're like, why? So you can profit off of that too? And
so then it turned into a culture appropriation that Made Bright is using autism to make money for profits for herself and not to raise awareness. So then they started bashing her business.
Like, they would make videos upon videos upon videos about me and Made Bright.
Is this Antifa trying to get into the autism spectrum world?
I couldn't believe that this was.
What is
I was
going
like,
on?
who does this? No, this girl went all out her way and made videos. Then got friends of hers to make more videos.
Right. And when we say videos, we're talking about like aggressive, really mean, mocking her. Like, I'm Made Bright and I use the boat. Can you stop using the boat? I don't want to use. I mean, just almost like real childlike.
And then one of them
behavior.
saying they feel sorry for my daughter because she has to live in an environment with a mom like you.
Like, and I just feel so bad for her daughter. Like,
it was bad. It was very bad.
I have a question for you guys, and I know you said. I know when I asked you guys this on text, y'all said that a person with autism can have several other conditions also with autism. The videos that I saw, I just felt a lot of like bipolar, like personalities there.
Multiple personality disorder.
Only because, like I said, when I had my job placement agency, I worked with people who were schizophrenic and bipolar, and they could come in great right now, but if something just set them off, it was like a whole other.
It's a neurotypical diagnosis, right? So you're looking at all elements of the brain. And for me, honestly, and I said it and I'll say it again, I think it's an adult tantrum. Because my son has tantrums on the daily. He's very defiant and aggressive towards me if I don't necessarily tell him what he wants to hear, because in his mind,
he's right.
I'm right, Mom, you don't understand me. But my son can talk to me so I can get that kind of communication.
Feedback,
You don't understand me, Mom. But I don't. It's a sensory thing, right? I don't like that. But Jamin, you have, like with the mask, he didn't want to wear the mask. I had to like try to get him to understand why he had to wear it to school. And when he didn't want to understand it at first, he threw a tantrum. My big 13-year-old son threw himself to the floor and was and crying. He just couldn't control it. So with these adults, I think that they're almost, when she said, "This is stressing me out," she was shaking on the camera when she was saying
yes.
She was like, "This is stressing me out, but I feel like I have to, like, put myself in this place and talk about it." You can see the meltdown, you can see the tantrum, you can see the trigger.
And this is another thing. So this, I'm not sure how you're gonna name the thing on
podcast,
YouTube, but I feel like it's probably gonna get a lot of views because people are researching.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you are in the group of people that hate the puzzle piece so much, you guys have so much that you ask from us. Like, they ask to be treated like normal adults, and we are not broken. We are not this, and that's fine. And this is why, like, I didn't go off on anyone. I was very nice the whole time. Every video I did, I was very understanding. If that's what you like,
they kept going in on you.
But they were very mean. They're just super duper mean. So whenever I try to change my speech about certain things, like one of them were like, there was a comment that said, "Well, how can you call an autistic person a child?" And my response was like, well, this autistic person asked me to treat him like a normal adult, and I said, if you are acting like a child as a normal adult, I'm going to say you're acting like a child. But now you want to use that diagnosis as an excuse to like put it back on me, like I did something wrong. So what is it? You want to be treated like you have a disability, or do you want to be treated like everyone else? Like, let's get to a medium here. And then they kept calling me an ableist. And we looked up the definition. It says they're saying that I is the discrimination. So I discriminate a social prejudice against people with disabilities based on the belief that typical abilities are superior. It is the heart of ableism is rooted in the assumption that disabled people require fixed or defined people by their disability. And I'm like, never ever have I said my daughter needs to be fixed. Ever have I ever said that? And the truth of the matter is she's her own person. She's supposed to be wearing a hearing aid, but she hates it. I don't make her wear the hearing aid. I'm like, if you don't want to do it, then that's fine. She doesn't like to put pants on at home. And it's something like, I'm not going to force you to be uncomfortable in your own house.
Yeah.
Don't wear your pants.
Who likes wearing pants at home? Let's be real.
So she likes to be in her chonies.
Yeah.
So you do you. And when people come over to visit, I put a dress on her.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to force my
Basically
kid.
saying that as parents too, I think they were trying to say y'all are trying to conform your children. And I swear and this is where it's like, that's where I kind of stopped the conversation, because obviously they don't know who we are. They don't know what we represent. They don't know what we've done for our children. But I've never tried to conform my son. And I think we can make that public. And we've had this conversation. If somebody said, would you cure your son tomorrow and let him walk around like a normal child? I don't think I could. I love him as he is. She loves Bella as she is. We would never try to conform anybody. We accept autism for what it is. You know?
Well, that's who your son is. It's like,
That's what I'm saying. It's hard for them to see a point of view when they don't have a child. Like a lot of them I've seen are like they're like, no children. I'm childless.
Children. Yeah.
But when you watch their videos, it's more like, okay, I can't get upset about these because I don't know what else they're dealing with or what they dealt with. You know what I mean?
I do want to say on behalf of parents that have children with autism, a lot of the comments were, "You're not autistic, so you can't have any say in any of this." That to me is mind blowing, and I kept coming back with comments like, "But I live the autism lifestyle. I live and breathe this every day."
That's what I text you guys. What they don't know is you guys live, eat, breathe everything autism. You have no choice. This
is what we wake up to.
Exactly. Some mornings may be great for you. Some mornings may not be great for you. Some evenings may go well. School activities may go. Sometimes they don't.
Everything side is on the side, but our children
go first.
Yeah.
So like their mentality is like, they are who you are. They are who they are. Let them be who they want, and don't intervene. Don't do therapies and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I'm like sitting there thinking, okay, so you want my daughter to never have the ability to speak. When I, as a parent, I'm trying to make her the best adult she can be when she gets to adulthood. So you want me to teach her never to take herself a shower, so she'll always be dirty? Do you not want me to intervene because she's unable to take care of herself right now? So who's taking care of her? If you really feel that way, this is how it makes me feel like, let us be who we are, and you just stay out of it. You have no say. And another thing they say is that it's not an autistic community's job to raise awareness for autism. This is one of the videos that were posted. She said that it's not our job as the autism community to bring awareness to our own diagnosis. That's not their job.
So whose job is it?
I don't know. So I don't know what I don't know what they're being.
It's very
confusing. It's very confusing. I'm just trying to be like, if that's how you feel, don't hate me for still believing in the puzzle piece and using it.
So and let's talk about it. Let's talk about why the puzzle. I can understand where it stems from. It stems from Autism Speaks. But it's the blue puzzle piece that is the symbol of autism. It's the actual blue puzzle piece. They are going so far to say, well, you have a blue puzzle piece in your product. So the whole product is now void.
Well, and not only that, the puzzle piece in general. And I made a video. I was like, look, the puzzle piece was created in the 1700s by a map maker. And then another organization in 1963 took the puzzle piece as their logo in London, and then Autism Speaks took it too and made it their own. So to me, I'm like, why are you discriminating against the puzzle piece and not the organization?
Exactly.
And if that organization felt at one time that you needed a cure, that the puzzle piece represented pieces that were missing, then that's on them. To me, the puzzle piece, especially in the new diagnosis of kids, means that you're all different. and you're all unique in so many ways. It's not because you're missing a puzzle. It's because it shows the diverse people in your diagnosis, in your autism community, and how different you all are. Not that you
and the connection itself. Our main goal is to have connection with society and connection between our children, and you know what I mean. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're missing something or needs to be cured, and that's how they see it.
Yeah.
I guess what I'm most confused about, to be honest with you, is at the end of the day, you have parents who don't want to be involved, and then you have parents like you guys who are very involved, very proactive, right? So what does it matter what symbol you're going to use as long as you're a proactive parent versus a parent who doesn't give a shit?
I think they don't want us to be proactive parents. From what I understand, they don't want us to intervene in their kids. They don't want us in our kids. They don't want us to put them in therapies. That's abusive if we're making them to do therapy. So their whole concept is to leave them alone and let them live the life that they live. I'm like, okay,
but we're talking about autistic adults with no children, telling parents how to raise their children.
Okay, so did these parents just kind of let them go? Is that how that works?
I don't think so. Honestly, I think it stems from trauma. I really do think that. Like, they didn't have the best experience. Maybe they didn't have a proactive parent. Or maybe, because back in the day, kids that were diagnosed on the spectrum, a lot of them were institutionalized because they did not know about the diagnosis. And they used to call it a disease and that these people need to die. So there was a whole campaign, especially with Autism Speaks, where they were saying we should kill them. And these kids need to die. That it's a disease. And so this is why they don't like Autism Speaks. But I'm like, look, Autism Speaks is a different organization. Let's go take all this energy you're giving to me and just put it on them. Because that's not what we're about.
This is so random, but American Horror Story, one of their stories were it was in the hospital, in a mental institute. And when I read, I was like, it was so kind of like out there, but it was talking about how back then they did shock therapy to anybody with anything. Yeah. So technically, when I read like where the story came about, because I just thought it was like so crazy, because I was obsessed with Sybil. You guys know who Sybil is, the first female to have several personalities. So yeah, 7. She's the first one to be diagnosed with personality disorder, right? And so I was obsessed with her. So I thought, did they kind of get it from that? Like, where did this American Horror Story come up with this? Anyway, they talked about how the reason why is because back then, like you're saying, it was like whether you had autism or anything, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, you were all institutionalized together because they didn't know what to do with you. And so the shock treatment was the only treatment they had, or pills, medications to make you go to sleep and then get over yourself and, just don't be an active human being, you know? What's crazy to me is that when I was watching these videos of these adults, I was thinking to myself, okay, what happened? Because that's why I started asking all these questions, like, were parents very abusive? Maybe parents just kind of shafted them to the side, like, I don't have time for you right now. I'm going to let somebody else deal with you. I'm going to let you go to therapy on your own,
put you on medication.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, one of them actually hit me up directly on my IG. The one that started it. The one that started it all. And we had a good conversation. And then at the end of the conversation, I was like, hey, do you want me to delete some of the TikToks that I tagged you in? And he was like, you know what? I decided that I didn't like you no more. So that's it. I don't like you no more. So I said, okay. And I left it the way it was. And it was like one of those type of things where I'm like, we just had a good conversation. Yeah. I explained my side. You explained your side. And at the end, he decided he didn't like me no more. So now that's when it went further on TikTok. And I'm the type of person, I'm like, I'm not going to put it out there. I could have screenshot that whole IG thing and been ugly. But I'm not going to do that. I've never been that type of person. I believe in prayer, and I prayed. I'm like, look, God, I don't know what's going on. I felt very attacked spiritually. So I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to let you handle it. And so I deleted that whole conversation, too, between me and this person on TikTok because I didn't want it to be... I didn't want to see it anymore because they did explain to me a lot of traumas from their childhood. and it's not my place to put that information out. But somebody would have. If they weren't dealing with somebody like me and my character, they could have took that information and did some stuff with it. But I did not. And now it's talking to him. I see the trauma and stuff that he did endure as a growing up, and why he probably they said that they have a lot of hate inside of them, a lot of hate.
And I also feel it was very one-sided. So if you watch the videos, how they all kind of came together and just went attack on her. And even though in all of the comments it was like, well, God bless you, well, have a great day, okay, well, that's how you felt, but they were like on it. What if it was flipped and it was us going in on them and they were trying to, retreat and go back? You know what I mean? It was very one-sided. And when I kept trying to explain that to them, that she was being the bigger person, that blew their mind. Like, how is she being a bigger person? Well, she's obviously trying to, if this is stressing you guys out, she's trying to cut the conversation. You guys keep coming in, making videos, making arguments. You know what I mean? And I have to also commend that. Awesome. They were passionate. They came together. They figured out how to communicate about their passion. Because my, inspiration for Jamin one day, if he's passionate about something, I want him to use his voice and speak. The way they were doing it, though, wasn't right. And that's not how you speak out in today's society and community. You have to be able to be the bigger person, come out and say what you believe, but say it in a justified way. Not go and make TikTok videos and pretend to be her and mock her. When you're and that's another thing in autism. Actually, it's a bad behavior because my son does it when you mock people, and they were doing the mocking. I was like, yeah, this is very childlike behavior.
There's a whole video about them things you don't do to an autistic person. And one of them is you don't mock an autistic person, but
they're mocking you.
But they're mocking me. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I'm just going to continue to do what we're doing.
You chose to block. And then for that,
they were like, yeah, she's blocking autistic people.
They did more videos.
Yes.
She's ignoring the voices. She's choosing to ignore us.
But for a whole 2 days, let me put this out there. For a whole 2 days, I took their abuse.
Yes.
And I kept replying nicely. Like, that's how you feel? That's fine. But they kept coming to me, and it was affecting my daily
when she blocked, I think about 3 more people started coming forward. Now go follow her. She's blocking us. Go blow up her page type of behavior.
You should be like, you're lucky I didn't report you for abuse.
No, I did, and they did. I was like, they are not abusing any TikTok guidelines.
No.
Yes. So of course, for my well-being, I had to block them. Now, I listened to you for 2 days and literally took the abuse from me for 2 days.
And it was only escalating.
Like, I can't anymore. It was only escalating. So now when anybody comes to my Made Bright TikTok and they're like, you need to stop using, I just block right away.
I saw a video where it was an autistic adult who was pissed, went on Etsy and found all the shops that I guess sell autism awareness stuff or anything like that. And it's like, why you don't support these type of people. They're like, so her argument was, she was older though. She didn't say how old she was, but she did look like late 20s, early 30s, like an older, because she said, if I ever had a child, I can run a risk of having an autistic child because I'm autistic. But she was so high on the spectrum. I was really impressed with the fact that she was even able to communicate that way. But she said that shirts that say I'm a mother of an autistic child is like an absolute no. Don't do that. I love a child with autism. It's like, don't do that. We're not dogs, basically.
Gosh.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's almost like I love my Shih Tzu.
Yeah. Bye, Penny.
In case listeners didn't know, we had Penny in here the whole time.
Bye.
She was so quiet.
Yeah, she was
You did
awesome.
so good.
Ahora sabe ir con papi.
But and I think you actually said it in one of your first videos. You said this is like the generation that just wants to cancel everything.
Yeah,
it's
for
a part
sure.
of cancel culture. It really is.
Well,
like when I told my husband about it, he was like, people are so sensitive. Like,
you can't say anything anymore.
No, you
I mean,
can't, 'cause you'll upset
anything
somebody.
you say now, it's
Yes.
like,
which is why
So
we
today
can't win.
I made a TikTok. So every day I've been trying to say something when I get into work. I'm like, hey guys, it's Monday.
Something positive.
I have 3 orders coming in, and then in the one I did today, I was like, look, believe in what you want to believe in. Don't let nobody bully you out of what the things that you believe in, and be kind. That's what I put in my TikTok. And I feel like the big thing that they were saying was like, oh, you're trying to profit from autism and you're trying to profit off of us. And in reality, my thing of my merchandise on my site it's very small when it comes to the autism piece. But the goal for Made Bright, and whenever we started it, I'm like, look, Moy, Moy is my husband. I'm like, look, Moy, I want to create a something that Bella can take over if she can go out and work in a regular work setting. Like if she cannot go out of the home to work when she becomes an adult, she can come work where we are, where my studio is. And then I said, if we can grow big enough, like why can't we hire more kids on the spectrum to be a part of Made Bright? Like why can't Made Bright be why can't we employ only kids on the spectrum?
And that's normally the goal when you have families that want to start family businesses. Like I told you guys, we want something to hand down to Jamin when we finish out, so he can have something, you know, to look for. So the fact that they're bashing, like you guys are appropriating our culture, like we're doing something for our children, and we're doing something for you too, because this platform is something positive, whether you choose to see it that way. That's our goal, is a positive goal.
For some reason, a lot, exactly. I told Rob, I said, oh, you're Rob, you're not gonna be ready for this.
It's all taking me back, like,
because he's like, okay.
I think we all went down a rabbit hole because we were all texting each other.
Yeah.
And she was like, did you go to her? I was like, I cannot. At first I didn't go to her TikTok because I was like, I can't, because I promise you I'll be so mad.
Sorry.
It's like the mission and the mission statement are so pure, to have people just be so ugly about it. Like, what's going on?
I like broke down.
No, don't cry.
No, man.
You can't give someone that much power.
Yeah, over
there's
your
no
emotions.
way.
It's not that. It's just that.
No one knows what you go through. No one knows what you wake up to. So it's like you can honestly not let anybody just, you know.
It's just that being an autism parent is so rewarding, but at the same time it's work.
Right, of course.
To get your kids to be the best they can be.
Yep.
And I would never drug my daughter. I'll never make her do something she doesn't want to do. She's getting to the point where she can tell me yes or no, I don't want to do that, and that's fine. Like, I'm not going to force her to do things, but I'll always be her voice. I'll always be the one spreading awareness, no matter which organization tells me not to, because she's my daughter.
Of course, yeah.
So that's one of the things they kept saying was, you're not autistic. Don't be doing this and don't be doing that. I'm like, you don't know the love you have for your kid. And I'll continue to do it. The puzzle piece will always be a part of Made Bright. And if you don't like it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Just don't sit in the hate, because we're doing something positive for that community.
For our community.
Exactly.
It's
And
our
just
community.
it was just so sad, because I'm like, man, how many people are going to come across these videos and think something negative?
Let me
about
tell you
autistic
something. We will make this
you
go
can't.
viral.
Yeah,
No,
you
we
can't
will make
let
this go viral.
you can't let something like that.
No.
If listeners are listening, to make yourself feel a little bit better, Lucy found a roll of toilet paper somehow in the studio.
I know. I just saw that right now. I don't even know.
We
how
have
that-
a roll of toilet paper.
I don't even know where. Where did you find it?
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know.
Why is there toilet
But let
paper
me tell
back
you
here?
Bro.
Anyway.
Let me tell you something. Once I did go to the TikTok, it was in here. Somebody wiped their butt at one point.
Penny.
Once I did go to the TikTok videos, I was, and my husband too, he was, and I think her husband told her too, like, yo, let it go, don't respond. And I told my husband, I can't be quiet now. I can't. They attacked her. They attacked me because I feel for everything that she goes through. And it also pisses me off because they don't know what she's gone through. They don't know Bella's story. They don't know. When I tell you in and out of the hospital for years, in and out of the hospital for years. When I tell you over-the-top medical treatment, and they can say, oh, that's abusive. Taking your daughter to the hospital when she's near death is not abusive. That's saving her life. So there's just a lot of stuff that they don't know, and I had to keep reminding her. They don't know what you've done.
Yeah,
so
at all.
They have no clue. And it's not even worth it to put it all out there, because they're still probably going to find something and try to make you feel bad for it, but they have no clue.
Well, I think the biggest issue, and this is the reason why
I told you all.
I think the biggest issue for me is because they're not parents, they have no idea. It's funny because I was thinking about my mom yesterday for Mother's Day. I don't know what she said, or I don't know what, and I was like, boy, I'm that because my mom used to always say, like, well, wait till you have your own kids. Well, I didn't want kids, right? So my response was, I was like, well, I'm never having kids, so it don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know what I was thinking about, and I was like, okay, I'm doing exactly what my mom, wait till you have your own kids, is happening right now. And that's what I mean by them. They have no idea because, well, for one, unless you grew this human in your cell, in your body, you really don't know. You know what I'm saying? Two, you no one went to the doctor visits with you. No one sat there with you. They didn't sit there with you when you were told, you know what I'm saying, that your child was diagnosed with autism, when you didn't know how you were going to handle this, what it was,
right?
Why, you know what I'm saying? Most parents are like, okay, so you have autism, great. So what pills do you take?
In my opinion, I feel like if you want to take anger out on a parent, if you want to be upset with the parent, then go be upset with the non-proactive parent, somebody that doesn't.
Or your own parent, probably. You know what I mean? That's who you should continue to stay angry. But don't bash on the parent that's actually supportive. And then one of the people I was going back and forth with, actually, I think, because like you said, kill him with kindness. So I was all about the kindness. Yeah. And at one point he just said, well, as you know, it's Mother's Day, so I'm going to go spend it with my mother, who actually supports me and loves me for who I am. Mm-hmm. I feel that, homie. I love and support my kid for who he is. So, like, why are you... It was almost... It's a very combative, one-sided, no matter what you say, you're the bad person and I'm right. And I understand this because my son, like I said, he's the same way. It's a defiance mechanism. It's just what it is. And you know, I just want to say that it's all about responsibility. And a lot of people think that responsibility is me saying, okay, I messed up and I'm sorry. It's not. Responsibility is the ability to respond. They didn't have the ability to respond right. So we apologized on multiple levels with multiple people. They wouldn't take it, though. I feel like
and one of them even said that I never apologized to him.
Yeah.
That I never apologized to them. In reality, I said, look, I'm sorry if I caused you to have a meltdown based on what we were talking about. And it was a good conversation until the end. I was like, okay.
They just decided.
They decided they didn't like me
again. The ability to respond wasn't there. I don't feel like they had the ability, which is what pushes us farther as parents to say, okay, well, I'm going to make sure my kid can be able to respond if this ever happens to him, because what we're trying to prove here is that it shouldn't be categorized. Kids with disabilities or kids with autism shouldn't be put to the side. They shouldn't be secluded. We're all about inclusion, but now they're creating a culture where it is it's very secluded, because it's almost like, well, this is us. You can't say anything. You can't have an opinion. You can't care.
And then they're coming off like they speak for the whole autism community.
Yeah.
And I said, you do not speak for everyone. Yeah. I said, you do not speak for my daughter.
I was just going to say that. So Bella, let's just say, for example, Bella, how would she be able to express herself for this? Would she be able to express herself to anyone that, like, for example, like, oh, I don't agree with what my mom is doing? Is she able to? Okay,
she's not.
So you are Bella's voice.
Yes. Yes.
There we go. See? Yeah. I mean...
And I'm fighting for her. And even in the video, I was like, look, whenever she becomes an adult and she says, hey, Mom, I think I want to use the universal rainbow symbol instead. Hey, then that's fine. You can do that. Mm-hmm. You're old enough. You're making your own decisions.
Sure.
Like, it's not... I think their whole mindset is based off either something they're experienced, something somebody talked them into, or, like, just trying to be a part of a group that includes them. And that's a real thing. Like, if you feel alone and another group's trying to, like... include you, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna try to become a group because you want to be accepted. But at the same time, like, what is their mission, and what are they doing good instead of harming people? Like, if you believe in the infinity thing, then that's great. But like,
and who created that?
I don't know.
But see, I feel like we should, if we want. Okay, I get it.
It just randomly came about?
I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you. And I've been...
5 years since Bella, I've never heard of the
10 years since Jamin. I've never.
Thing. Yeah.
So in a way, because I was like, so according to them, I have a hate symbol on me forever. But to me, this doesn't represent hate, because I don't support Autism Speaks. I don't support the actual blue puzzle piece. I support this piece for what it means to me and my story and my journey. You know what I mean? And I told her, so I'm just supposed to transfer now over to this infinity symbol I know nothing about. It has nothing to do with our story. And besides, I don't want to support...
And from what they're showing us, they have so much hate. So yes, let me go be a part of something that's showing me that they hate like they do. And it's just... To me, it was just so, like, I was just so mind blown. I was so mind blown. I'm like, man, there's so... And then another thing they were saying was, like, there's enough awareness. People need to do acceptance.
There is? Well, no, I don't think so. And I'll tell you that because on the comments, I've gotten DMs from, and I send them over to you guys every time, because I'm learning. I'm no way able to give you any type of information. So I'll always say, I really recommend you DMing, and I'll tag both you guys. But the reason I sent you the screenshot that one day was because there was somebody from California that said, I wish this type of expo was happening in my city. And I just wanted you guys to see that this exposure is great. There's a lot of people that still don't know what to do with their. I had one lady said, I have an adult child, and till this day I can't figure her out.
Yeah.
An adult child, and she can't figure her out. She said, I've tried everything. I can't figure her out. I don't know what else to do. And
Which is why we believe that autism is a mystery, and they find it offensive to say it's a mystery. It is a mystery. You know why? Because I ask myself every day, why? Why? When Jamin goes through his struggles, why am I going through this? Why is he going through this? Why do we have to go through this? It is a mystery to me. I have every right to believe it is.
Yeah.
But to this community, it's offensive to say that autism is a mystery. Well, I'm sorry, boo, but it's a damn mystery to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I look at my family and they're all my nieces and nephews running around. I'm like, dang, you know?
I know. No,
Yeah.
don't get there.
yeah, it's got to be hard because I can't imagine like I was asking you today about. I was thinking about you because we did a content photo shoot. We did a content photo shoot and Penny peed on herself, right? And I felt so bad because I was like, damn it, I should have put a diaper on her, like a pull-up on her, you know, because I knew that she hadn't like taken a nap or anything. And she doesn't usually nap, but if she gets in the car, she's going to be out. You know what I'm saying? And so when she pulled up, she was real good about it. And I don't know why you came to my head. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, it took me so long to potty train Penny. I was like, how does a parent with an autistic child potty train? Because not only are you having to teach other things, other bathing, washing your hands, you know, make sure you're wiping your mouth, you know, clean your hands, whatever it is.
Hygiene.
Exactly. So in addition to all this, and yet you take for granted that I was like, damn, this girl took forever to go to the potty. You know what I'm saying? And here someone else is having to not only struggle with teaching your child to go to the potty, but also teaching her, okay, did you wash your hands? Like just life skill, like normal things that we take for granted.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And so, you know, I also want to speak on this because this hit me personally, especially because I'm a certified ABA therapist. A lot of the comments, and this isn't on just TikTok. I entered a rabbit hole. I entered this information on my support groups I'm a part of on Facebook, and I actually got deleted for speaking out. And the person that I guess runs the page reached out to me, and she said, I deleted your post because it brought negativity to our chat. But I told her, this is a real life thing, though. I needed y'all's support. This is a support group. I needed your support. I needed that confirmation that I didn't know what to believe in. This was all new to me. I was actually overwhelmed, and I wanted to know, was I in the wrong or anything? But 95% of the comments were positive. Believe in you, do you, believe in what you want. We don't rep symbols in this house. We just rep our kids, blah, blah, blah. 2 people called us troublemakers and instigators and bullies. So for those 2 comments, I got reported and taken down. So now I'm thinking, like, man, us raising awareness, it goes beyond just raising awareness for our children. It's about us now as adults. We have to figure out how to raise awareness for parents to be able to communicate with each other without being offended now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think some parents are just empty themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're empty inside, and maybe they don't know how to deal with their emotions, like how you feel like, why me? It's not fair type of thing. Maybe they haven't dealt with them, or they don't know how to deal with them just yet, and they're just kind of still.
but why shut the conversation down? This needs to. That's why I told her I'm glad we're doing this because this conversation isn't out there. It's very new to us. So imagine how many people that have no clue.
That's what when
Well, I
they
mean, the
said,
videos on YouTube, I was like, wait, this is a thing? Like, people are out here, like, really mad about this shit? Like, I was in shock.
So what kind of rabbit hole did you go down?
Well,
Mariswole?
all I said was, all I did was I posted on there, is the puzzle piece for
you Googled
autism.
it?
No. I put it on
YouTube?
YouTube.
Oh.
So I did it on YouTube. I didn't do Google.
And you came up with
Offensive. That's where I watched all these videos. Even people was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I was telling him what happened. He was like, what? He's like, don't people want people to know about this? I'm like, I know, I'm very confused myself, which is the reason why, like, I'm like going down this route, and I'm not just watching video after video, and he's kind of like listening in the background. He goes, did she just say don't buy a shirt from a mom? That's so. And then we got into the subject about, I was like, how do these people not know that some of these items aren't sold for medical bills? Because as you guys talked about, insurance doesn't cover everything for all this medical
Respect
issues.
the hustle.
Yeah,
You know what
so
I'm
it's
saying?
like,
Respect the
so
hustle.
how do you not know? He was saying, he's like, how do you not know that some of these parents are having to do this in addition to having their job, having the insurance, having to find another means to continue to take them to therapy? I was like, exactly. And that's when I realized that I think that these kids were just not, they went from being mistreated as kids, maybe forced to do things they didn't want to do. Maybe the parents weren't just
Or
as
maybe
proactive.
this is their way of feeling included in something that we can't be included in. So it's kind of like a, you know, like a reverse psychology. Like, you know, they've always felt shunned. So this is their way of feeling accepted, but only with each other.
I know the deaf community is really big about not being fixed. Okay. And they get very offended by a parent trying to, when the cochlear implant came out, a lot of the deaf community kind of was protesting against the cochlear implant because they felt like, wait a minute, we don't want to be fixed. Who said we want to be fixed? So because we have little, like the little follicles around our hair, right? The little hair follicles in our ear. So some of those are burned and some of those are still active. So when you get the implant, right, now you're able to, it amplifies everything and you're able to hear. Now what's the downfall? Some children are not able to play football. You can't play it out of those things because the surgery's inside your brain. You know, they open you up. And so it's a magnet that goes underneath and the cochlear implant connects, you know? So when that came about, a lot of the deaf community was also pissed and were like, wait a minute, like, and so then I was like, but wait, what about hearing aids? Like, no one was mad about hearing aids? Like, you know what I'm saying? That was also like a thing. I was so confused too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you're learning this in deaf culture, you know what I'm saying, in classes. And so I was just like, gosh, there's just, somebody's always going to find something.
I wonder if the
right?
colorblind people are upset when those color glasses came out where you could, like the groups,
Anything
there's pockets
that's gonna
everywhere.
help you progress and develop, why not?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for me, I feel like, because ABA came up a lot, and it came up as an abusive therapy, and I actually had
Oh, I saw that.
that came up, and then also recently I've been seeing more and more in my support groups that, should I put my kid in ABA? I heard it's abusive, so you have all these people kind of treading water. I don't know what ABA's done in the last 2 years. I've been out of the ABA world for 2 years. I don't know what they're doing, but when I was a part of it, it was very one-on-one. Yes, we you know, take everything in as data, and we kind of like, okay, you had 15 meltdowns today. Let's see how we can take that down to 10. And we do appropriate tools like distractions. Like, okay, when I figured that you got triggered, you're about to have a meltdown. Okay, let's play with this. And then I turn you around and you don't have the meltdown. So now today you had 13 meltdowns. And by the end of the week, I'm going to get you only to 10. And before, you know, and that one-on-one, I mean, imagine I'm playing with people's children. I'm talking to them. I'm listening to parents cry. I'm venting and conversating with them. For me, it was a positive experience. I felt like they would tell me, I wait every week till you come, because when you come, I feel better. I had a great experience with it, you know, but for them, for this cancel culture to start implementing that this is a abusive, now you're putting things out there. It's not necessarily true. It really isn't. We're not trying to fix you. We're trying to help you control yourself.
We're trying to help you, like this one person was he had a meltdown, or they had a meltdown. We're trying to get you to your best adult. Like, if you can't handle what we were talking about as an adult, maybe ABA therapy could have been beneficial to you when you were a child, because now you're adult having a tantrum, basically.
So in ABA, they teach you adult skills?
They teach you
It's
how
life
to, like,
skills.
Life skills.
It's all life skills, but it's also it's just a way. So basically, if Roxanne told me I can't get Bella to stop hitting herself, a lot of these children would stem, but a lot of their
like Bella has a big stem, and she
Yeah.
has like a callus in the middle of her chest because she hits her chest a lot.
So that's a stemming. Or a lot of these kids would just do this to themselves when they, you know. So
It's like redirecting the stem.
why would it be okay? Why would any parent want to watch their kid beat themselves up every day? You know what I'm saying? So for these people to say, well, stop trying to fix them. I'm not trying to fix them. I'm trying to help them stop hurting themselves. I'm trying to,
They call it self-harm.
yes.
So, like, I talked to Bella's speech teacher the other day, and she was like, yeah, she does a lot of self-harming. I'm like, well, what does she do? Because to me, her stem is a part of her. So I'm like, what is she doing? She's like, well, she hits her chest a lot. And they call it also a behavioral thing too, with the hitting her chest. And I said, well, that's not how we see it at home. We see it as she's super excited and
Like
she's
stimulated.
she's maybe processing whatever video she's watching or whatever room she's in or whatever lights or what something's too loud. I said, but every time she's hitting her chest, she's so happy. She's like, like she's just so happy. Bella is such a happy kid.
So that's like
Stimulant's not
her
That's her way to like.
letting you know she's good.
She not that, but more like she's so, you know how when you get so excited, you're like, I'm so excited. But when you process it, she can't. So she's like, oh, I gotta let it out. You know what I mean?
Got it.
So she has a big callus on her chest. You can feel it because she does this a lot. But the kids, the people at school, they call it behavioral issue, and they call it self-harming. I'm like, to me, that's just the way she's processing something. I don't see it as self-harming. I've seen self-harming, and not in Bella. She's never hurt herself, but I've seen self-harming in other kids on the spectrum.
We used to have kids that would like bang their head up against
Yes,
the
or
walls.
bite their arm, like bite their hands to the point where they're bleeding, where the parents are like, please guys, help me. I need to find some way to cover their hands.
And a lot of the kids that stim the most are kids that are nonverbal because their
And she's
expression
nonverbal.
is limited. So
Well, she's talking a lot more, but
that's their way of expressing themselves when they're angry or when they're hungry or when they're mad or when they're triggered or, you know. And so ABA just comes in and me as the ABA therapist would just come in and figure out, okay, well, how can I help you control it? That's all. We're not trying to fix the kid. We're not like, you know, putting shock waves, nothing. It's all
so like
controlled.
a new thing, for example, do you know those sequin shirts?
Oh, yeah, the ones that
Oh, the ones that
like
go up and down?
change, whatever.
she loves it.
You guys, ever since I started buying a lot of those shirts, they're like, Roxanne, she doesn't hit herself a lot at school no more.
doing
Like
that.
this. So all day, this is what she does at home. This morning, I didn't have none clean. They're hard to find.
Yeah.
Because she's basically in a woman's size. They're hard to find in a woman's size because not really a lot
Yeah,
of women
yeah.
don't wear.
Can you make some?
That's your next product.
Yeah,
Vanessa.
I was like, okay.
A lot of women don't
Actually, I know
wear-
somebody that makes them.
Nice.
I know somebody that makes pillows that does that with the.
Okay, so I mean, we can talk about that later. But so this morning I was getting her dressed and none of her shirts were clean. So she was like, Mom, she goes, strawberry shirt. So one of them's a strawberry shirt. So you roll it up, you have the seeds. Put it down and it's solid. So she was like, strawberry shirt. And I'm like, Mommy, the strawberry shirt is dirty. Mommy, clean it later and you can wear it later. And she let me put her dress on her with her tights because she knew later she can have it on. But at home, constantly rubbing her sequin shirt. And it deters her from doing this.
Yeah.
So I've noticed her callus is getting better since I started buying her more of the sequin shirts.
I had no idea that was like it's almost like
sensory.
a sensory. I was just
Yeah, it's just a part of the behavior.
It's another way for
Yeah.
her to like this. It helps with this too. So she'll constantly, and then there's an owl that's all sequin. She'll be like, owl toy, and I'll go find the owl and she'll hold it and she'll be like,
Yeah.
she'll just rub it.
Yeah. And so that's not Roxanne trying to conform her or change her. So how can you hate this
She's
person,
asking me for it because she needs it.
yeah.
Believe me, guys, everything I feel like that can help Bella, I buy it for her. And if she don't like it, okay, I lost out. But you guys, I spend so much money on this girl because I want her to be comfortable. You know?
Wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I had no idea because the autism kids that I worked with were mostly higher on the spectrum, so they were functioning.
So like the shirt to help instead of hitting herself, that's a replaced behavior. So that's something
Right.
that ABA provides.
That's
know?
what
so
they
I don't
do.
feel like it's necessarily negative. Like I said, I don't know if something's changed. I don't think it has though, but I don't feel like it's something that, you know, these people should be putting out there and saying, don't do ABA therapy. Now you're restricting parents from even wanting to go into
Are
it.
looking into it.
Yeah, and I think
Okay, so let's say you didn't take care of it or you didn't realize these
She
things
probably
now,
has a
right?
bruise on her chest or
So
something.
if you grow into an adult and
Yes.
mom never addresses this, what happens, right? And these kids kind of, and I'm sorry, I'm calling them kids, but they are. I guess 'cause I'm 40. I feel like you are a kid. You know, like I feel like.
Wouldn't that be like regular? I mean, excuse my use of words here, but regular kids' parents teaching them anything, and then other parents that don't have kids getting mad at them for teaching them how to potty train or write or
Yes,
anything.
It's the same
It's the
thing.
same
Yeah.
thing.
It's the same
You
thing.
want the best for your children, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna. I mean, whatever little behavior that happens that you're not comfortable with, or you know that's not gonna get them anywhere, you're gonna try to. And I guess like now we can't even say fix because that's offensive to some people. You're not necessarily trying to fix it.
We're just trying to keep
Yeah.
them not to harm themselves, like
Yeah.
in those things.
Yeah.
Like if Bella was a serious, she harmed herself bad to the point where she was hurting herself. Of course, I'm gonna try to find somebody that can help her redirect that biting of the hand into something else. That's where she's not actually harming herself. So listen, this is the biggest thing. The
Let's
biggest
do
thing
it.
is I want you to know. What I want everybody to know is that Made Bright's goal is purely to spread autism awareness, and we always spread acceptance because we want our kids to be accepted in every avenue, in every business place, in every school, or whatever you want to call it. So that's the mission. But at the same time, I also want people to know that I don't want to cure my daughter. I think she's super amazing the way that she is. I will help her any way she can to be the best adult she can because I want her to be her best whenever she gets into
For sure.
high school, adulthood. And me and my husband talking about all the time, like if she lives with us for the rest of our life, then let's do it. And we've already had a discussion with our 10-year-old son that says, hey, look Isaiah, most likely you're gonna have to take care of your sister when me and your dad get too old to take care of her. And he's like, okay, mama, I'll do it. And I said, you got to make sure you marry somebody that loves your sister too, because that person's gonna have to help you with her. Okay, mom, yes, like he's for it.
Yeah,
And
these
so-
are real things you got to teach your
yeah,
children.
these are
Well,
real
I'm sure
discussions.
because like I know Marissa was saying that, you know, she's noticed that her son her older one just kind of feels like,
His plate's
you
full.
know, it's like, yeah, it's like I'm tired of protecting him and fighting. And
It's a lot.
it's crazy because I took Aiden with me on Friday Penny was invited to a little play date thing. And, she was like, oh my God, I have so much to do. I was like, well, meet me there for a little. She goes, Aiden, so I was like, meet me there. She's like, man, I can't. I said, okay, well, drop him off and he can come play. I mean, they're just going to be playing. Right. But it was crazy because I noticed that he didn't understand when I would say, you've got to be, because there's babies there. There's 1-year-olds there. So I said, you got to be careful. Right. And that upset him. I forgot to tell Marissa this. That upset him and he walked off. Right. And so I was watching him because there's not very, I was just watching him. And I said, okay, I'm going to let him be by himself for a little bit. If I see anything, then I'll go and approach him. Right. And so I was watching him and then he just comes back by himself and he just says, okay, I want to play. I was like, go ahead, Aiden, go ahead and play. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not that big of a deal, but to him, it was like, well, I'm playing. Why do I have to be careful? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like that now as an adult.
You're right. And I realized that when he was playing, I was like, okay, why did he get upset? Because I told him to be careful. And that's when I realized, like, okay, I think he didn't like the fact that, like, wait a minute. Like, he saw the little boy leave. It's almost like that's all he was doing, was watching to make sure the little boy was leaving. And then he came back. And then he was, like, ready to play.
That's probably another thing. Like, I told something about my youngest sister. She's super shy. But that's one of the things she gets embarrassed when you, like, call her out in front of other people. So he might have been embarrassed.
Got it.
Yeah, but that, I went through the whole thing with Bella when she was super big, where she only wanted to play in the infant section because those were the toys that attracted her. And there was a lot of conversations with other parents, like, your daughter's too big to be in here. I'm like, well, she's autistic. She's probably in her mind about your daughter's age, so she wants to play with these toys. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like one of those things
I don't know
too.
what to
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, what do
It's
you?
Why would a kid her age that was normal functioning want to play in the infant section? Like, let's use your process in your brain. Like,
Yeah,
why?
common sense,
Like,
yeah.
let's see.
That's giving regular people too much credit. Let's be real.
Right. I'm
A
like,
lot of them don't have
to
that.
me, being a autism mom, I already pick up the cues. I already picked up the cues. I'm like, oh, they're probably autistic.
So
or they're
segue into why we already feel like we live in a judgmental world, and now we're living in a judgmental autism world. So a lot of my comments back to these people were like, hey man, we don't need any more of this. We don't need any more separation and judgment. Like,
Yeah.
Right, we're
knock
already
that
struggling
down.
with
We're
that
already
every
struggling.
day,
So now you want me to
every
struggle
day.
and fight within my own walls? Like, that's too much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would be I think I'd constantly be fighting people. Like it'd be a constant thing, like being annoyed with.
No chill,
Yeah,
Mariswole.
because you just get annoyed now whenever you see someone. You're like, come on, man. Like
I'm good with keeping the conversation going. I'm good with putting it out there. This is like I said, this is new to me. So now I'm like even more motivated. Like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing this research, but I'm not gonna shut up. And if they keep calling her out or calling out what we're doing or whatever, I'm gonna keep talking.
And if
about
there's
it.
people that decide not to support Made Bright, let me tell you this right now.
Do
Made
it.
Bright is not a big company. I'm one person. I make everything we sell. I'm the web person. I'm the picture person. I'm the merchandise describer person. Like I'm the everything for Made Bright. And we do not make a lot of money. Majority of times, Moy has to help us pay our bills because we just don't make no money. But
You're a startup.
We believe in our mission enough to like, let's keep it going. And it will never die. I'm just letting everybody know that. Made Bright would never go away. Our autism little pamphlets will go in every order, regardless of what people believe the puzzle piece believes or not. To me, it means something. And I want to live in a world where my daughter can go play and people not stare at her.
And if these people feel, obviously they're very strongly opinionated about the puzzle piece and Autism Speaks, that's great. Go educate the people on Autism Speaks. So their site's still up and running. So
And
why don't
no,
you take
Made
it to
Bright
that
does
page?
not believe or support Autism Speaks.
I had no idea that they were that hated.
Yes.
That's
I had
what's
no idea.
crazy.
Yes.
See, but there's things that you just got to pick and choose your battles, right? I can sit here and put all my resources into shutting them down, but I choose just to basically do something that's going to benefit our children more. So for me, that's more on a social level and just trying to bring awareness and acceptance.
What do they do for autism awareness?
I really
to be
don't
honest?
know. I
Well,
just
they
know,
do
like,
the walks, right? But like that's all I know.
Okay.
That's what I see, that they do the walks in downtown. But like,
Oh, like those Cure for Cancer walks?
Yeah.
No, the
type?
reason why I never supported them was because a lot of their funding they get doesn't go towards really anything that supports the
Autism.
goes
Yeah,
towards
usually those
eugenics, right?
usually
Those big
never
ones,
do.
yeah.
a lot of people were saying that their funds go towards eugenics, which is a set of beliefs and practices that aim to improve the genetic quality of human populations. So I guess there's something going on with like the breeding of people. That's a whole other world, and I will do my research on it. I know a lot of people were saying that they just basically like morph people in the autism
But
community.
autism is not genetics, right? It's not
Not that we know.
I don't
hereditary,
think it
right?
is.
I
I
don't-
don't think it is. But I think what they're saying is like, so maybe somewhere in a lab they're saying, okay, she has autism and this person doesn't have autism. Let's see if we breed them and see if something comes out with if the child comes out with autism or something to that level. Like I said, I need to do more research on
Holy
it. But a lot of these
shit.
people were
Yeah.
saying
I believe
that.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
eugenics. That's some Bill Gates
yeah,
type shit.
Fuck yeah, I believe this shit. I was watching. Man,
Dude, did y'all really talk like 6-7 months ago or even 10 months ago? All of y'all?
no,
three
I
of
know
us,
them,
yeah.
but no.
Man, Marisol's come a long way with the things she looks in rabbit holes she goes down. Bro.
I do not like to talk about like
The simulation, or the idea of
He was
all that.
watching Westworld yesterday.
Yes, he finally started
He
it?
started it yesterday.
Are you watching it with him?
I came to the end of it, and I was like, what? I was like, this is so weird. I don't
Hell
want to
yeah,
watch
it's
this. So
such a good
I'm gonna
show.
end up watching episode 2, but I was just like,
Yeah.
I don't.
Westworld?
Westworld. I'm
On
not ready
HBO?
for that. I don't
Okay.
like that. I don't like the.
So if this is something that's real,
Yeah,
which
no,
I
it
don't-
totally is
if
real.
It is, I don't mind doing the research and everything behind it because that's what we do. We research.
Yeah.
That's our thing, right? But it's just like if we have a different set of beliefs, I think we have to be able to agree to disagree. You know what I mean?
Because puzzle piece, who said the puzzle piece belongs to Autism Speaks? To me, the puzzle piece
And who
belongs to
said
me.
that?
Yeah.
Who said that
And
what
my-
they
and my,
believe in is what the puzzle
mission.
piece stands for? We don't believe that. We believe it stands for something else.
And
you know,
they
so.
think, okay, so then if that's the case, well, wouldn't the LGBTQ community be pissed that they took the rainbow color? And I mean, if we want to go there,
Yeah,
come
right.
on. I mean,
And to me,
Yeah.
honestly, and I told her this, the infinity symbol to me means obviously it's infinitive, nonstop. I don't want Jamin to be on the spectrum forever. I truly believe that, not that I can cure him, but I do believe that I can get him to a place where he's okay without me having to always hover and be right there. So I don't want what he's going through right now to be forever. You know,
No,
I
you wanna
want him
improve
to
his quality of
develop.
life.
right, of course.
I want him to grow. I want him to flourish in society. So to me, I don't want to represent the infinity symbol. That's my theory. But I'm not bashing people like, you have the infinity symbol, stop using it. You're a
No,
horrible
and that's what
person."
they're doing. They're not calling me all names and just it's just crazy.
Well, your vibe is your tribe, and unfortunately, they're on this vibe of like super negativity.
yeah,
that.
for sure.
One of
Tribe
them
is your
said.
Yeah.
One of them said, "Our mission is to empower autistic people." I feel like you're just empowering yourself, homie. You're not empowering anybody
Yeah.
else. And with the people that are on your side.
Yeah,
that's
they're
your
finding all
tribe.
these negative
But I
people.
mean,
Yeah.
what are you showing to the people that come across those videos?
And people,
About
but
the
people
autism
actually are
community.
like their stuff though. Like almost like tell her. You know, they actually.
Yeah, but those are those people that don't go on. Like me, I'm the like, okay, who you hate on? Let me go to their profile. Let me check them out.
But you know, I
Because-
got a lot of likes on the comments that I made back to him. I got a lot of likes. So, and then one person even said, "You can't tell me what symbol to use because I actually don't represent any symbol. I just represent my child." You know, like in our home, and I told her this. One lady
That
was like,
too.
"My kid loves Legos, so honestly, if I
the
could have a
Lego
Lego."
is our
Symbol, you know, or like for me, my son's obsessed with Hot Wheels. If I could have like, you know, a colored Hot Wheel, that would be like mine. I don't have to like puzzle piece till the day I die.
It's
I got
true.
it as a representation of my story for to the day I die. This is what I believe in, but it's not necessarily like, you know, blue. autism speaks,
yeah.
You know,
But one of the things that I said in the message that I was going back and forth in with them or they was the puzzle piece is what you make it. Mm-hmm. So let me believe in what the puzzle piece believes
For sure,
to me
yeah.
and my family, and you take it however the way you want to take it. And I even made a comment. I said, look, if there's certain people in your community that hate the puzzle piece, I'm like, then let's make it great again. Like, let's take the negativity from it and let's start to make it into something positive. Because I'm like, I told him, I said, I love to see the good in something bad. Like, if you think it's bad, let's bring the good out of it. Like,
Yeah.
this is how my mindset is. It's always been my character. And I'm like, and like, I've always been one of those people that don't like to gossip. I don't want to talk about you. If we're good friends, I'm like, dude, she's not here.
Yeah.
Let's not say nothing. You know, like, I'm like that. And whenever I was talking to this guy, I was like, look, to me, I'm like, life is so short. And when you almost lose your kid, like, I remember being in the hospital and Bella was like, she was basically could have died. And I said, God, I'll take everything about her. Just keep her here.
yeah,
And it's true.
that's real.
Like, you want your kids to like flourish, but you want them to be alive, regardless of the battles on earth. Like, keep them here with me. I remember saying that prayer.
Yeah,
And she's here, thank God. But I saw so many people leave without their kids.
Grab that TP.
Yeah.
Like, being in the ICU, there was
Yeah.
like 3 kids
Wow.
that didn't go home.
yeah, it's
'Cause
a
they
real
died.
thing.
Wow.
It's a
So
real
some
thing.
people was able to walk out with her because
Yeah.
she should have died. She would have. She really should have. But
Well, that's because she has a purpose.
Yeah.
She has a
She
mom
has
with a purpose.
and you have a purpose.
Yeah,
and with
she has a mom
and
with
maybe these
purpose.
people have a purpose, but their purpose to me isn't bigger than what we're doing. I feel like what we're doing is on another level. You know, it's different.
Well, yeah, it's a matter of spreading positivity, and
Yeah, man.
it's a matter of spreading awareness, or as what was one of the comments I saw? It's acceptance, not what did she was
She
pissed
said
about.
acceptance, not awareness. I'm like,
But you
there's
can't have
not a-
acceptance if you don't have awareness.
Yeah, bro, come on.
I'm like,
That
this
doesn't make
is so
sense.
confusing.
This doesn't make any
Their
sense.
argument is so confusing. And I
I
was
just
just
couldn't-
beside myself. I was like, well, okay.
You haven't even watched the videos, and honestly, I'm tempted to play them, but I don't want
We will
to.
when we get off.
Yeah,
We'll show
we
you.
will when we
Okay,
get off because
okay.
I don't
The
want
funny
anybody
thing is,
suing me.
like, to me, it was when I was watching the one when she was really upset. I was like, okay, there's something way more here.
Also, one of the things she said, because she literally went to her page, recorded her products, literally, like, took the time to go
From
to
my
her page.
website.
Damn.
And she was like, look what she says in her bio. And she actually said, she said that because in her bio with the identifier, she, you know, just giving some insight for the people like me that I bought the
To
identifier.
place on their bag or-
She was like, you know, no parent should put anything on their children without their consent.
Or permission.
Some children aren't verbal, person. Like, what if your child
So
can't talk?
my child can't tell me to get her dressed, so I'm just supposed to leave her naked?
Yeah.
And for me, that identifier was exactly to identify my child as autistic when we went out to the zoo or we went out to a restaurant and he's having a freaking meltdown at the table. Well, he has his pen, and so when the person looks over, okay, I won't judge. I'll leave that person alone. And it did that on several occasions. So I support the identifier. Not to say that I'm labeling my child or stamping up like a symbol.
Because
on them.
I saw something like that, and the argument was if you're a parent with quote unquote normal child, right? A normal parent doesn't put anything on their child to let another parent know that they're a normal child. So why would you do it on an autistic kid? I mean, there was people really mad about
shit,
this.
you
shit.
can break that down.
Yeah.
The average everyday kid is an average child. So I'm not need to know, hey, you're average.
Yeah.
But for somebody like Bella, and she's doing this on the table next to us at the restaurant, and you guys, people will stare at her like,
Oh, yeah. You've offended them just by sitting next to them.
And she's so happy. She's a beautiful little girl, and they're just like,
They really stare like
And that goes back to
Yes.
not having the critical thinking skills of being
I've
like,
had people move away from us at a
I
restaurant.
think so too. And
I've had people like call the waiter and they go.
I'll ask them. I'm like, hey, can you just kind of like put us further?
That's always
away
the
from
request on our
crowd?
end too. When we go somewhere, we're like, can you put us in a booth in the back?
And I'm like, just so we can be kind of on our own. And they're like, sure, we'll try to get you, then, as much as far away. But now, mind you, Bella's getting so much better. She's evolving too. And so when she was younger, it was a thing, like really thing where I have to really get us separated because people would literally stare. Now imagine you going into a restaurant to have a family dinner and you can't even be comfortable because you're getting stared at. And like, not like concerning stare, like
I have to sit next to this family.
like ugly stares, okay?
Yeah.
And mind you, you have a son that's freaking brilliant and picks up cues. Like he overheard one of the videos and he was like, Mom, why are those people saying that about you? Why are they saying that about Made Bright? And I'm like, Papi, don't worry about it. He was so angry. He was like, Mom, you should tell them something. Like he was so angry. But I had to show them that I was okay, even though I was not, because he's so in tune. He would have been upset. So I said, Papi, it's okay. Mommy's fine. Like I'm not upset. These people just want to do this for their own reasons, but Mommy's okay. And he was like, okay, Mom. But he was concerned for me. And whenever I let him go, he was okay because I showed him that I was okay, but I was not okay. But it's like those cues. So Isaiah picks him up too. And he'd be like, Mom, why are those people staring at Bella? And I'm like, because she's different and they just don't know what's going on. And which is why the biggest reason why, because when she was diagnosed, she was like very loud. And so people stared at her a lot. And our mission was greater at that moment because of that. But now it's like, this is what we are. She's going to do that. I'm not going to stop her from stimming in public to benefit you. I won't. Like, that's something she needs at that moment. Just like when people need to take a step away before they're about to blow up, you got to go step away.
Or when your child's a tantrum at the store. I mean,
bro.
I mean,
if I didn't have to take them to HEB or anywhere, we ain't going nowhere.
Oh, no, everything's delivered for me.
Yeah,
I can't.
no. And they're as regular, I guess, as they can get, but they will get on your last nerve.
But that's a huge
the
reason
lobsters,
why
leave them
we're-
alone.
that's
Stop
a
trying to
huge-
take the lobsters out of the tank.
That's a,
Fuck,
the
man.
damn lobster. That's a huge reason why we're doing the Abilities Bash, though, because we just don't have a place to go.
Right.
This is our place. We've created a safe space.
Right.
It's a no judgment zone, and I think what we're doing, like you said, man, if we can take it on the road one day, that would be a great mission.
Look,
to
y'all,
take it somewhere else.
my zen, people say zen.
Your
My
zen.
zen place, I can tell you right now, is whenever I go take Bella to the movies at
the sensory ones.
the sensory movies. Let me tell you why. Everybody in there's like Bella. Everybody in there's walking around.
Nobody's
They're
watching
doing
the
their
movie.
Own little quirks, and I'm so at peace. That's the most at peace I've been with something for Bella, not having to be judged. Was when I go to a sensory movie because the lights are on.
Are they
and
still doing
everybody-
that?
Yeah, they're still doing that
where?
at the Star Cinema in Pearland.
Oh, Star Cinema
The one
Grill?
on Pearland Parkway.
Yeah.
My
Isn't it-
cousin?
is
Is
it
it?
Grill?
Is it? Yeah. It's Star Cinema or Alamo? Or it's not an Alamo.
I forgot what it's called, but it's right there where the Target in Pearland Parkway and Beltway 8.
I know what you're talking about.
They have a sensory.
Well, that's Anna.
line.
That's one of Anna's husband's spots.
Really?
Now-
My cousin's. Yeah.
Really?
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Now the one by Baybrook, they have something similar, but it's for kids that are younger too. And I took her one there, and I got judged so bad because that's a movie that you can bring your little infants to when you're 2 and your 3-year-olds, but it's not just for kids on the spectrum. So whenever I took Bella, they were just like,
They were still judging you.
yes. So
Yeah.
I never took her back to the Baybrook one, the Star one in Pearland. They're all sensory. It's all sensory. All types of disabilities are in there, and it's okay if your child walks around.
Yeah.
And it's just so good to see. Like I was like so at peace, and I just smiled at every kid because it's amazing.
Yeah. I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. I guess maybe if I wouldn't have liked to have worked with children with autism or just any type of disability, maybe I would have. I don't know. I try to look at it from somebody else's point of view. Like when I see a parent come in with the wheelchair, with the kid with the wheelchair, and they've got the drooling. I can't. I'll notice it be like another, and I'll just be like,
You
Okay,
guys,
guys.
I'm my friends, my best friend. She's like, okay, Mother Teresa, because I can't help it. I'll be in the thrift and I see a mom with like kids with Down syndrome and one's in like a wheelchair, and I stop thrifting and I'm like, how are you doing today? Do you need help? You want me to hold your baby while you thrift? Like, I stop my world.
Stranger danger over here. Get away.
It's so weird because I just feel for that family and I want to help.
You don't understand. There's moments when Bella was younger that I needed help, and one was recent, and she's so big, guys. She's super strong. We went to an indoor park, and I was trying to get her out of the pool. Bella is water. Okay, that's her thing. I was trying to get out the pool, and she was like fighting me so hard, and I was like looking around to see if I can see somebody to help me get out the pool. But I remember thinking, man, I wish somebody would offer to help me get her out of the pool. But nobody. They were more staring at me than anything.
Yeah.
So and that's sometimes too now when people are so weird. If you help now, you don't like. We went to a water park when the whole COVID thing was happening. We're
Katy?
outside, bro. Yeah, when we went, I was like. And there was a parent with their child, and it's Penny, and Penny is just very active, you know, and she's going over there to play with her, and the parent's like, okay, we got to keep our distance, okay? It's like, bro, we are outside.
I've done that to everybody though, but yeah, I just feel like I'm not like that's just our heart. That's our.
No, remember that feeling. That's what our kids go through all the time. Nobody wants to play with them. Nobody approaches them. Nothing.
I was like, my gosh, ma'am, she's just trying to play with your daughter, and they're infants, and they're not going to catch COVID. Like, pretty sure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just unbelievable. I just told Peter, I was like, oh, I can't stand people sometimes. Like, I just can't. That's why.
If that's how we feel. Imagine how they feel.
Yeah, and it's funny because I've become like that as I've gotten older. Because before I was, you're more social. But as you become older and you observe more, and you just you're just like, man, people are just.
You know, you're getting older. Somebody starts talking about moving out to the burbs or a rural area.
Join me in spring.
Hey.
Yeah,
man. I was
straight up. I told Jesse, I was like, if we had the fortune to do so, I would just want to go get a big old property.
Get a compound. Just start your own little compound.
Yeah, we were driving back from Waco. No, I'm sorry, Lubbock.
Oh yeah.
And that's when I was like, dang, nobody would fuck with us out here. I said, this is what's up. I was like, I could do whatever I want out here. I was like, yeah, I don't know about. I said, well, we can continue to invest in the city. I was then maybe we just head out. But for work wise, what we do right now is just no one's gonna. Yeah. It's just too hard. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not gonna drive into this. I'm not gonna drive in to my office that's in the city when I'm that far out.
So close, and thank you so much for always having us on.
No, of course, yeah, for sure.
This is definitely like a way for us to like get our word out there, because I mean,
not only talk but to talk. So that's another thing. Like I feel like our community is so small with autism moms, you don't get to talk a lot.
Yeah, you don't.
You know,
y'all are also busy all the time.
Well, that too, but it's just you don't find nobody that's
relatable too much.
Not relatable, but that are outspoken about it. You know, it's still so like one of the comments I made was it's more like in the home, and you don't talk about it to other people. And so to me, I'm like, whenever you're around other autism moms, and you can be like, oh, you know what happened today, you can express things. So like to me, our conversations are like therapy. You know,
and at the Abilities Bash, we want that for the parents. You know, we want them to be able to talk and communicate.
So I'm hoping to meet new moms.
Because I really feel like the comments and the DMs that I'll get, I think there's a lot of parents like you guys who feel that way. They just don't know where to find.
Honestly, since since August when I started this with you, I've had so many new moms come to me and say, hey, my son was actually diagnosed, but I never wanted to talk about it, or I don't know enough about it.
And it also affects friends they have already. So I don't hang out with a lot of people that used to, because Bella is different, and I feel like she wasn't accepting as a group.
Well, if you're gonna stop being my friend because of my child, we just shouldn't have been friends to begin with. That's how
I'm okay with that. There's like Lucia, my friend Erica that we hang out with a lot, and our friend Tirsa. I felt like if we hung out together, we're good. Like their kids get along,
but our kids
with
know
one
each
another.
other so well.
But at the same time, even in their group, nobody really interacts with Bella. So that's another...
Well, one time we went to their house, and I was like, where's Jamie? He's missing. And she's like, well, go check Bella's room. And like he was sitting in back, like the way they were sitting, like she had her iPad and she was sitting on his, like he was kind of sitting in back of her, and then he had his iPad, so it was like a little choo-choo train. But they found each other, I was like, oh my God. I hope they can marry
That's-
each other.
I know. I would let that happen.
I would let that happen. And then my
Oh
daughter
my
loves her
gosh.
son, so I'm like, perfect, y'all. Perfect.
Married each other's siblings off.
Yeah,
they'll support it.
I can't deal with people who are like, I find out my child had, like when Marissa first told me, I was like, are you lying? And she's like, I swear, I'm
She's
not
like, "Bitch,
kidding.
why would I lie
No,
about
yeah,
that?"
exactly.
You sound just like her.
Just because when she told me, it was, I mean, he's been coming to my house
Yeah.
for however long she's been, since
How
what?
old is he?
5?
He's 5.
So however long he's been doing she's been doing the podcast with me since about January, right?
February,
So yeah, so she's been my co-host for the past 5 months. When she told me, I was like, Aiden? I was like, he comes in here like,
Yeah.
I didn't see nothing. You know, I would have, as somebody who I really feel my babysitter's grandson is, and I just really wish that they would bring.
Oh,
I talk about it all the time, and I just keep giving her hints without being like.
just tell her.
I know, but you know, she's so old school, and she's so like, you know, and she's very blunt. She's quick to tell me something, right? But I just, I don't know how they don't question any of the stuff. Like we're at a party. It's a kids party, okay? And these are just some of the things that I see. So you're talking to him, and he's not responding. You call him, he still doesn't respond, right? I don't know. As a parent, I think that would be a concern for me too. Penny's a month older than him, so he's about to be 3, 2, has zero vocabulary.
would
Does
say
he have any
something.
siblings though?
He has a baby brother.
That's why. Let me
Who's
tell
got a year old, and that little boy is talking. He's playing. Everything that to me as a mom immediately would have been like, okay, I'm not trying to compare my kids,
Right.
But this one's 1, this one's 3,
And that one's over.
and this one is super active, playing, just doing everything. Like he's kind of going with, you know, quote unquote, you know, I know there's some kids who are, you know, delay at some things, but you know, he's pretty on point on like where he should be at 1 and, you know, and so forth. So every time I see him, and then also it's the eating. It's indulging.
Oh, he's just gorgeous himself?
Yes, and so he's too
That's how
little.
Bella is too.
So he's too little. You know, like, and it's almost like he doesn't know when to stop. So I feel something's not connecting here, where you know, your brain's not able to tell your tummy that it's
you're
full.
full.
Like Penny will tell me, even if it's candy or a cake, she'll have some, and then she'll say, I don't want any more. You know, she's done. Or she'll walk away from it because she doesn't want any more. There's none of that. I mean, it's the hand like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's the hand like this. It's the voice also. So for me, at first, I thought he was deaf because of the voice.
He might have a hearing impairment. They don't know.
Exactly. And so I
No
told
testing yet. No going. Pediatrician.
That's our Mexican culture right there. Nah, we're not taking them nowhere.
man,
But
she
if they
said
have a
she already
pediatrician, it's also a part of the
Your
appointment to make sure
pediatrician
they're.
should bring that up though.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I asked. It's like when he went to go get his, I mean, they give you this questionnaire. I used to always get offended too, because as a first time parent, I'm like, is your child? I'm like, well, damn, bitch, like my child ain't stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are y'all asking me? I would get so offended.
They just want to make
And
sure
I
that
didn't
they're
realize,
getting their milestones.
growth,
exactly.
because they do.
Or when they would ask me, like, you
But you
know,
know what,
are you?
Marisol?
It's so funny. I can see Marisol in the office
I
like,
used to be
No,
like,
you're asking me these questions.
No, but it's a real thing because Marisol, the rate of autism is actually it's growing, so the chances are higher. So they're looking for this stuff young. I had a friend that told me at her 12-month checkup they were already doing like a check-in
I
chart.
guess to me, why I felt like maybe this is where I felt, I'm like, wait a minute, not every kid is the same. So I get it. I just don't feel like you should start diagnosing kids so quick. Like, hold on a second, give them a chance.
Yeah.
Like, give them a chance just a little bit, and then if it's not okay. But man, it was like at 6 months, is your child giving you eye contact? So then I'm like, well, shit, did
You're
she?
looking at her like,
yeah,
oh,
I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, she's 6 months.
But
like,
honestly, from my perspective, I wish I would have found out sooner because I didn't find out till he was 5, and I know parents that found out sooner, and I always wish I was a part of that category because I could have got him help a little sooner
Earlier.
too.
so it can be detected as a baby?
No,
not a
Not
baby.
so young,
I
but
think
they
that
do
if it's
start
a baby.
looking-
It's. I mean, I think if they become 5-6 months old and they're quiet, not smiling, they stare.
There's no facial
It could be
emotion.
something going on because by then they're watching you go across the room. They're smiling whenever you're playing peekaboo or whatever. So these natural cues, if they don't have it by a certain month,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm sure.
Honestly,
there
when
can
I guess because it was my first child, I didn't really, you're still.
Honestly, but with Bella, I thought her quirks were just part of her. So before she was diagnosed, it was probably she was 2. We went to Vegas to see Dama, and whenever she was diagnosed later, she was like, Roxanne, I wanted to tell you when y'all came to visit that maybe she might be autistic, but I didn't want to say nothing and hurt your feelings. And but when I go back and I come across other videos, I'm like, man, she did do these little
Right before
things.
she got diagnosed, and I think I told you this, we had went to the beach together, and Bella like buried herself in sand that day. She was just this for hours burying herself in sand, and it reminded me of what Jamin did with the mulch. He would go to parks and bury himself in mulch, but I didn't want to say anything because I'm like the way you may feel a little hesitant, but it wasn't because I didn't want to. I didn't want to offend her. She's my friend, and I didn't want her to be like, "What are you saying about my kid? We're not friends." It wasn't worth the risk to lose her. So
And now
I'm just
she
gonna be
hates
quiet.
sand, so that's weird.
I'm gonna be, at the time I was, but then when I became a little bit more aware of what Jamie was going through, I'm like, dang, if I would have just said something. But I think she got diagnosed like just a little later.
Wow, that's probably before she had her MMR.
She did, but she was just,
She hates the sand now.
yeah.
She don't like walking on it.
I'm still tripping about that MMR.
Yeah.
Fucking vaccine, bro. I still trip about it.
It's a whole other podcast.
Man,
Yeah.
I still trip about that because it's so crazy.
You know,
that,
I told Dom about the Sears method, and she
Yeah?
said that they actually retracted it now. That they do not believe that he doesn't believe that the Sears method he came up is good.
Who said that?
Dama.
Really?
Dama's overseers.
She
Over the
she-
Sears
she-
method.
She said that he retracted the Sears schedule.
Really? Oh shit! That's what I followed. That's exactly what I followed because I was afraid. I didn't want her to get all those shots at once.
That's what she told me.
Wow, I wonder
But,
what she recommends.
Research.
I have a new baby now.
Research.
Yeah.
It's
She
Research
doesn't
time.
she doesn't vaccinate none of her kids.
Oh, she doesn't
She
vaccinate.
has 2, and she don't vaccinate none of them.
We need to get her in touch with Erica to see how she went about.
Oh,
not
Erica, our friend Erica's kids.
Yeah.
All remember I told you she did all natural
going-
birth.
oils and supplements and
all her kids, nothing, no vaccines, and
they're all healthy.
How old is Emma?
9,
9 and then 3.
9, 3, and 5, I think.
Yeah,
But they're all healthy as a horse. Smart, super smart.
Yeah, I mean, my midwife, I'm sorry, R.I.P. to my Afua, but she was against it. I mean, she just said, I can't consult you. She's like, I tell you what I do with my kids. I mean, her kids were grown adults now. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, if you didn't trust the shots a couple years ago, you definitely don't want to trust the shots now. So I would just say it's safe to do your research, of course.
yeah, I just was kind of weird about them already. Like I said, and then I watched that Vaxxed.
I can't. Dama was like, Roxanne, you need to watch that. I said, Dama, I'm already not vaccinated. I don't want to see kids injured. Like, I cannot.
But it's trippy, man, because we as adults, like as parents, I guess maybe, we just kind of think that just because someone said it is,
Or the medical said.
the medical, it should be like that's what it is. It's supposed to be.
That's why I put so much trust in them. And then I was like, oh my God.
When I told my mom what I was doing, because I don't know what I was telling her, and I was like, oh, I got to go back to the doctor because she's got to get her. She goes, why do you go every month? That's not normal. And I'm like, so I explained to her why I had to go every month, right? She's like, and then she was like, you got vaccinated and you came out just fine. I'm like, okay, yeah. I was also born in 1981. So, I mean,
A lot less.
yeah,
There's
like
a lot more vaccines now.
exactly. I was like, and I don't know if this is true now, but I hear that for public schools, they're trying to include the COVID-19 vaccine as part of your schedule of vaccines to get
Well, just
before
know
you get back to
waived
school.
with
You can get a waiver.
immunizations, you can get a
Bella has a
waiver.
waiver.
And I was like, that is insane. If anybody does that, I mean,
That's gonna be state by state, I think.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to happen here
Yeah.
because,
No.
I mean, Texas is one of the few states anyway
Yeah.
that allows for you to like,
Live your own life, you mean?
yeah, exactly. well, you don't have to get your vaccinations. And that's one thing that my midwife said. She goes, you're lucky we live in Texas. She goes, if you lived in California, you wouldn't be
Well,
able
that's
to
what a lot
do
of
it.
people
sent me of them
From
forcing
California.
that girl to get
Yeah.
the shot, and she's so scared, and they're literally like reprimanding her to give, and she's like stimming and crying. I was just like, oh my god, how can the mom sit there and let that happen?
These were, I think,
but because
these
the
were.
state told her she had to get it.
Yeah.
You know, but why didn't she fight harder to figure out how to, waive her from that?
I don't know. It was a crazy
That's a
video.
bad-
Y'all
video
told that
watch.
story when y'all first came on. What was it, like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago? And like 2 days later, my wife's sister got la vacuna. This is on Good Day on YouTube, so I don't want to say the vid too many times. But she had a stroke less than 24 hours later, and she's in her late 40s.
Wow.
Yeah,
Isn't that crazy?
I was like, jeez.
It's real.
Just
That's why nobody's getting it. All the
live a-
news stations
yeah.
are like they're
just
declined.
this morning they're
You
declining.
can't.
States are declining.
I mean,
it.
you just can't. Like,
Well, not
it's
only
too
that,
risky.
There's no promise that it's first you won't get COVID. Second, they're telling you you're gonna have to do it every 6 months. Like it's so.
Oh,
new.
every 6 months
Yeah,
now?
you
Well,
have to
they
do it a
didn't
year.
tell
Boosters,
you that in
boosters.
the beginning. They didn't tell you that
No,
in the
they
beginning.
just started saying that.
So I'm a guinea pig. I did it, but I told my husband, like, I'm not going to do it. Because
So
I got
it's
sick
gonna
and
you got
got
both?
sick.
Continuous.
I did get it
So
when,
it'd be like
when
a
it
flu
first.
shot.
Which one?
The what starts with the M? I keep forgetting.
Moderna.
Moderna?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna get it every 6
booster?
months.
Yeah, no.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I tried it
And
out.
then
I lived,
they're
so-
still saying, but get it, but you can still get it.
Yeah.
So no, it's not.
Yeah, I'm not.
Let's just stay healthy our
stay
own
healthy,
natural
there you
ways.
go.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I try my best to do, just because we're in a fucked up.
You know
little
what's so
world, man.
sad too is that my daughter's ENT, she sees a different ENT now. Whenever I came in for her hearing, when she lost her hearing because she had meningitis, she said, this could have been prevented if you would have vaccinated her.
It's
And I said, that is not true. I said, a meningitis has different types of it. I said, and she could have got sick even if she was vaccinated. And she was like, you're right. You're right. Because she didn't know that I had already educated myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're wrong. And when I talked to my friend Dama, she was like, most likely somebody in her class got the MMR vaccination and shed. And whenever they start shedding that vaccine, they can get sick. So she probably got sick from school.
Yeah.
But then they usually take years too to shed the vaccine.
Well, that too. But whenever you first get it too, some of it starts to come out. But it's like a 7 year. And if you think about that too, it's like a 7 year span. And then, so do we have vaccinate them for the same thing? If it's already
I don't. I'm
processed in the
telling you right
body?
now. As soon as Penny would get vaccinated, I'd be like, I need to breastfeed her. I would feel like this is the dumbest thing ever, but I used to feel like my breast milk was gonna kill whatever.
It is superpower.
Hey, but it's good. You have a lot of good things in your breast milk.
I used to be like, whatever this vaccine did, listen, I'm gonna mix it with my breast milk. It might not happen because I was still afraid, even though I was not following like the schedule that it was. I was still afraid of all the vaccines just because of that documentary. So I'd be like, F that. I'm giving her my breast milk. So as soon as she would be done, I'd let her have eat. I'd be like, y'all have to give me a minute because she's gonna sit here until she's full, because just in case I need for this shit to be killed with my breast milk, because I feel like my breast milk is gonna kill whatever, and I know it's
Well,
probably
you
not.
can do a detox for her too. I've done.
We need the
maybe 2
detox
or 3
regimen.
Detox. Well, it's different for everybody in their age, so you have to ask them for a regimen.
Yeah, I need to reach out. I want to have her on the podcast.
Yeah,
Okay.
whenever
Yeah, she said
gets
she'll
it.
do the podcast on
Dope.
Zoom.
Yeah, so I think that'd
But
be
you guys
really
gotta
cool.
get ready.
Orale.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
mind blown.
Like,
I'm already
She'll
gonna
blow
be.
your mind.
As it is, I'm already like
I know,
always
I'm
like
scared to lose you because you're gonna have the baby soon, and we're gonna be hitting her up.
she's
Can we-
breastfeeding. Like, man, let's get on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I don't want to lose you. Like, well, I'm busy with the baby today.
No.
Sorry, girls. Come and be hitting her up. Can we talk about this?
No. Trust me, I'm all about
Yeah.
at the hip hop
Oh
vintage.
yeah, can we talk about that since everybody's here?
Yeah.
What happened?
I saw a lady walking around and she was breastfeeding. She was not covered, nothing. And I went up to her and I said, "Yes." And she goes, "What?" I said, "I am so happy you do not have your baby covered in this damn heat."
Yeah.
I was like, "Cause your baby's got to eat." And so she just started. And her
Made a
husband
rhyme?
at first kind of like, "Hey, what? You're too close to my wife. Like, what's going on?"
Yeah.
He went like this, and I said, "No, I just want to
Maybe
say."
he thought you were gonna attack her.
and
Like,
I
"You're
said,
feeding
no,
her."
I said, I'm so happy to see this. I was like, I'm
Yeah.
so tired of
So happy
like,
to see your boob. It's awesome.
I was like, and he was like, Yes. And he was like, I know. I'm like, I'm just tired of it. I said,
Putting them under the
bitches
hot
got
blanket.
titties out all the time. Nobody says
Exactly.
nothing
Yeah,
about
can we just
that.
go that way,
I
please?
mean, you know what I'm saying? That's okay, but I'm about to feed my baby and you're kind of like looking at me like this. At the very beginning, she was telling me, she's like, at the very beginning, she was like, I was always covered. I was like, same. I got to a point where I was like, I do
Hashtag
not
free the
care.
nipple.
Erica?
Free the
Our
nipple.
friend Erica?
My son saw his first boob because of our friend Eric, and now he can't look at her in the eye because he's like, I saw your boob. I saw your boob. And
I mean, if it's like Roxy did it, she was like, boom.
No,
I was
it
like,
was out there.
She'll just take it out and we'll just be talking.
Yeah.
The kids will play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
It's all good.
kinda,
I mean, we don't care.
I just kind of feel like in
The way I don't want them to judge me, I'm not going to judge them. So
yeah, I just kind of feel like poor Penny would be like sweating while eating.
I know,
I'm like,
you're, like,
ew.
wiping her
I'm
sweat
like,
away.
that's gotta be. Can you imagine just eating yourself? You're eating and you're sweating.
And you're
it's
next
so
to an armpit
uncomfortable.
at the
yeah,
same
I'm just
time?
like,
What's how I feel when I eat barbecue? You know, meat sweats. Lots of barbecue.
yeah.
Hey, you should do a shirt based off of that. You know, motherhood.
Yeah.
You should come up with the concept.
I'm trying to think of a well
With
so,
a baby sweating while they're
Can you
eating.
do a
So,
baby? Can you do a
like
baby?
breastfeeding empowerment or
So
something.
well, I just made a shirt that said "Mom Gang" and it's two hands like this, and they're kind of on the boob, and that's kind of where Pete feels it's like two on the boob.
I like
so I was
it.
like, okay, bring them in, then a little bit closer because I just kind of feel like you are a mom gang, and you got to be okay with
Yeah.
breastfeeding, and you got to be okay with, you know what I'm saying, some moms dealing with this, and some moms. I never knew, I guess, because I never cared to be a mother before, right? Like it was just so, it was so like that's way too much work. Like I do not want to work like that. Like I like to get up
And go
when
where
I
you
feel
want.
like it, and I like to do whatever I want. I was like, that alone sounds like selfish. Why would you want to do that to you?
Bro, I feel you.
So, and then look at me now, you know, I'm about to, I every time I think about it, it's like, I said, I went from, I'll babysit your kid, but it's going to
What
get,
changed your mind?
I was
Age.
turning 36 and I thought, wow, I'm going to die without ever knowing what it was like to like
Have a
my own little human. And you know what I'm saying? But because I had also waited so long, and even I was so happy that my husband had a kid. I said, yes, he's not going to ask me for one. So we're good. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I honestly wanted to get my tubes ties before I even would even attempt it. And I'm so glad I never did.
Yeah.
They wouldn't do it for me anyway. It was like, no, you've not even had one. I was like, no, I know I don't want any. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. Come back to us when you're about 40. If you still feel that way, then, you know, we can talk, we can visit that decision. I'm glad I didn't do it. Right. But, yeah, I was just really into myself. I was just very selfish. I liked my life. I liked to be able to go and come as I
Yeah.
pleased.
The
I
freedom.
never
You
had to
enjoyed
worry
your
about
freedom.
anybody. I don't have to clean up after anybody. I don't have to get up at 6:30 in the morning and
But listen, once you become
and
a
then
mom,
it's like now it's a whole different
Yeah.
thing for me. But I also am in awe at how, if you as a mom know how hard it is, like for you to be that judgy towards, I know there's some fucked up bitches out there, okay? I know there's some moms out there that just probably don't deserve to be moms. I know.
Yeah.
And then you have moms who really want to be moms and can't be moms, and then
Right.
you look at those and you're like, you know,
Yeah.
you get upset because you know people who've struggled, and you know what I'm saying, I've done all kind of in vitro and stuff, and just to try to make it, you know,
And
try
then
to
you
have one.
Yeah, then you have the moms that have the kids
exactly
who don't even want them.
Don't even want them.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. It was just one day, and when I told my husband, he was like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
if
go
you're
make it. Let's
down,
go
he's
do
like,
it.
if you want one, that's fine. He's like, are you sure? He's like, where's this coming from? And I just said, I don't know. It was like, I was thinking about life, and I was like, wow, I'm really going to be 36 years old. And I've just like not even experienced one time. And I was like, and I'm done. I think I'm cool now. Like I've been around the world.
You
like
leveled out.
Yeah. Like I was like, I've traveled. It's not like I haven't traveled. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I finished school. You know, I had my business. So it was like, well, what is next for you? Like, what do you want to keep doing? There's only so much partying you can continue to do before it's like, this is getting old.
There's only
You
so
know
much
what
stuff
I'm
you
saying?
can do, period.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just like I was done. I was done partying. Like trust me, I have zero desire when someone says, girl, I got to go sit with my friends and go have, and I know there's a lot of moms out there. I just don't find it fun to go to a bar to go drink. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
You want to come to my house?
Yeah.
Hey, you want to come to my backyard? We can come out here and we can have a drink.
Or
Do
just
some
be a
crawfish and
homebody.
beer.
Yes, exactly. I'm more that person now. While before it's like, oh, I hate going to people's house. Like, I have to go to their house. How long is that party going to be? I'm like, okay,
Yep.
what time am I going to leave? Because
Yeah.
I got to go to the club after. You know what I'm saying? It was always like that because my friends were also older. I was so much younger. My friends were older. They were there. I wasn't there yet. I was still at like, partying and going to the club. So I don't know. And I just, obviously my husband, it felt like, I feel like, okay, we're both pretty mature. Like, I don't know. It felt right. It felt like it was time. And then, I had already told him too, though. I said, if I struggle getting pregnant, I'm not doing nothing about it.
IVF and
I was
stuff.
like, it means it wasn't for me. God didn't want it for me. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it matters at what age, you know what I'm saying? If it's not for you, it's not for you. And I didn't want to put myself through that because I knew that might have caused stress on our marriage, or, you know what I'm saying? That might have caused stress on me. I might have, I've seen it. I've seen women who, it ruins it's too much for the husband, and it's just kind of causes.
over.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want it to happen. So I just told him, I said, we're going to try. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, I'm also okay with it. I just told him, I said, if I remotely even mention to you, like, hey, I think I want to, try like in vitro, please talk me out of it. He's like, no, I'm not talking you out of that. He's like, because it's something that you really want and you're trying to find a solution on.
But it was smooth sailing.
Yeah, it was first try, girl.
Oh,
That
wow.
joke ain't a joke.
That's how me and Moy was.
Myrtle.
Boys,
What do they say? Fertile myrtle?
Me
First
more
try.
like fertile, and so are my sister and Maurice. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. My sister married my husband's brother.
What?
So my sister Michelle is married to Moy's older brother, one of his older brothers, Maurice. But I met Moy first. Okay.
She always tells people.
I had claim on that Rivas family first, but it was the same thing. So we waited 5 years to have kids, and it was I did the ovulation with Isaiah, and the day I can tell you the day we got pregnant, first shot he was there, and then with Bella. I was like, Moy, today I can
Just
get pregnant. Or
good dude.
What do you think? What do you think? You
Baby.
think you're okay with having another one? And Isaiah was almost 1 day, and he was like, yeah. And we got pregnant that day.
Yeah, I know exactly the day I got pregnant. And the second time around, my I think I talked about this, my pregnancy test kept coming back negative. And I was like, that's really odd. I'm like, well, I told myself I am 39, so I told him, I said they had already told me because of my fibroids. He'd already warned me. It's like, if you're going to have another one, he's like, I just want to tell you that I really don't even know how you got this first one because you have so many fibroids. He's like, but he's like, your second one may not happen. So that was always in the back of my head already. So I had just told him, I said, it's not meant to be. I said, I think Penny's going to be an only child, not only child. She's got obviously Mickey, but at home she's by herself. I said, so I don't think it's going to happen for us. And he was like, well, that's odd, because he was feeling like, well, what the fuck? You're like, I'm not gonna, like, is it me? I think it was kind of that. Well, then I said, you know what? I said, don't get the Walgreens bread. Don't pregnancy test.
$30
I said,
one.
can you go ahead and get like the real one? And then I said, and let's just see, because my period is like always, and I just wasn't having any of the symptoms, and I was
get it.
1 week away from my period to come, and I was just like, it's just really weird. I was like, no. I said, I think I am pregnant. He's like, they're all negative. How many more are you going to take? Because I had taken like 6 already. Wow. I was like, yeah, but I'm not getting any of my symptoms. So I found it out. Sure enough, he brings back the real, what is it, EP, whatever it's called, EPT? Yeah. And sure enough, that one came back positive. I said,
That's it. That's all you
I
needed.
told you.
That's all you needed.
And he was like, what? He was so happy. He was like, damn, I think I was getting old. I was like, oh, so it's about you, huh? Okay. Yeah. He was like, it was, so we did get pregnant again on the first time. It was just not coming back. So, but anyway,
With
guys.
the beauty of motherhood, and with that being said, we will not stop fighting, and we're gonna just raise our voices a little louder. And we accept. We are gonna bring awareness. We're gonna bring acceptance everywhere we can, and positivity overall.
Yes.
Yes. So
Love it.
love it. All right, let's knock that down because we got kids to go.
I know,
pick up and do all that stuff.
we're celebrating Mother's Day today.
All right.
Oh,
With
nice.
this-
Happy
well,
belated Mother's Day.
Yeah, happy
and-
belated
Happy belated Mother's Day to
Well,
everybody.
no, today's actually Mother's Day in Mexico.
In
though.
Mexico.
Oh, you're
Today's
right.
Mexican Mother's Day.
Yeah.
You're right.
Because when we brought Luisa some flowers, she's like, Mother's Day's not until Monday. I'm
got
coming to
offended?
work Monday. And I was like, girl, we're in the U.S. It is Sunday. I said, but yes, you do come something Monday anyway. We'll
Yeah.
get you.
That's funny.
Just take them with you. It was funny. She's
But I
like,
can't wait for this conversation to get out there. I'm gonna definitely I want it to be out there.
Do y'all have title suggestions for the episode?
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
Yeah, if you can
so
think
that
of
we
something,
know.
text Marisol
Yeah,
and
okay.
Yeah,
text me.
that
And
way.
I would like, like as soon as you get this out there, let me know. I mean, I want it out there. I want to raise awareness on that level. I want people to see what they were missing because there was a lot of like misleading videos, misleading communication, and I just want. And even if we get it out there and they still disagree, let's just agree to disagree at that point and keep it moving.
And let's just remember that this is in no way or form being done in a malicious way. Nowhere.
No.
These are women, guys, who legit fight for their children, and I'm sure there's a lot of moms out there who feel the same way. They want to advocate for their kids. And if you have something negative to say, then I need for you to find your little heart and clean it out and figure out what's going on in yourself before you kind of lash out to
Right.
someone
Yeah,
else.
find a
You know
better
what I'm saying?
vibe for your tribe.
And for
Exactly.
the people that want to spread awareness about Autism Speaks, go for it, baby. Just go to Autism Speaks page and do it on that.
Yeah,
page,
exactly.
You know what I mean? All right, you
I
guys.
agree. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you listening. Don't forget, May 22nd, it'll be the Abilities Bash. What's
weeks
the
away.
address?
So we're working on our RSVP. So if you're gonna RSVP, we need you to do that now. But it
Oh,
would
that's
be
right,
a
you can't.
break free 9191 Winkler
Winkler,
Drive or
okay.
DM Made Bright
Yeah.
MAEEBRIT.
We'll put all that in the description to y'all's handle so that they can reach out to you guys. So thank you guys for listening. We'll see y'all later this week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.